Hi, Rebecca Martinez here with ArtsCalifornia.net. Today I have the pleasure of visiting the Curious Forge in Grass Valley, and I'll be having a tour from Kara and Liam. I don't know your last names.
That's okay. Kara Asalanis, Liam Ellerby.
And you two founded the Curious Forge? And how long have you been in operation?
10 years.
10
Wow.
years.
So
Yeah, our
10th
anniversary is just passed.
Yeah.
But we've been in four years in this facility.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. It looks like an amazing facility. And from what I've heard of the Curious Forge, it's basically a maker space, isn't it?
It's a maker space. We started calling it an art center because a lot of people didn't understand what a maker space is, but we are a maker space.
And it does attract mainly artists here as well. There's some techies, some people building headache racks and things like that, but it's a lot of artists in there, so it makes sense to switch.
And just the lobby here looks incredibly interesting. And you have things that appeal to people of all ages, don't you?
Yeah, we have some awesome summer camps, skateboard making, blacksmithing, metal art, ceramics, everything. And we try to do kids classes throughout the year and work with different groups too. You know, we work with Girl Scouts, different at-risk populations as well. Yeah.
Do you work with other organizations?
Yeah, we collaborate.
Yeah, with a lot of art. You know, Friendship Club, which is at-risk girls. Girl Scouts came, NEO, which is for teenagers, and other, just whoever, you know, that we can collaborate with. We do.
Yeah, we've had internships from different schools in the area.
Now, in the lobby here, what am I looking at here in the lobby?
A lot of examples of members' work. Not everything by any means.
Yeah.
We try to have a little bit of each
Do I see
areas.
gourds and glasswork
There's
and
a lot of glassware,
ceramics?
yeah, exactly. Felting.
Felting, ceramics, upcycling, 3D printing, things like that.
Yeah.
So
Which
that's,
thing is the 3D printed?
up on the top
Wow,
That, yeah.
that's incredible.
left. It is, you know, so we have that tech portion of it as well as, and they can use it as well for doing a lost wax version using 3D print for the casting. So
That's
there's a lot of cross-pollination going on.
Yeah, we really love that and we encourage it and try to find opportunities for it.
All right.
Got
So-
13 areas.
Okay, so
Sure. Of course, a lot of people hang out here for long periods of time, so we have a break area.
Yep, they can make drinks, food, keep stuff in the refrigerator.
okay, that's
How we,
nice.
You know, count your body.
Elaborate a little bit on co-working. Co-working is for people who are just starting up a business, and so they want to keep their expenses low. So instead of renting an office, they can rent a cubicle here. They can have a conference room there, internet, and collaborate with other people who are just starting their business as well. Maybe sharing with graphic design, resources, things like that.
Because we've had quite a few small businesses here because we do get good internet here, and as you know, rural places, it's not
That
always
can
the
be
case.
hard to find, yeah.
Sometimes
Do
that's the draw.
businesses come, get set up, and find an office somewhere and then leave?
Yeah.
That has happened.
Yeah, and so the businesses we like to have are ones that can make use of our makerspace out here.
Right.
So we had like a yurt maker. Well, he was living in a yurt. He decided he wanted to go into business making them. He was out there, set up a couple of them out there, and got all that input from our volunteers who are professional woodworkers. What rivets to use, how to make a door that doesn't warp, window frames, things like that. And then he went to a home show, got 4 orders, and now he launched his own business.
He's got his own shop, his own employees.
Yeah, 12
Wow.
employees.
He's
Oh.
expanding, yeah. It's a great story.
That's a
It's-
wonderful feather for
Yeah.
your cap.
Yeah.
That's great.
And for him, you know, I just met with
Yes.
him the other day, and, you know, he
Yeah,
said,
he said, right, he's like, everybody's help just, you know, pushed him so much faster than he would have been on his own.
yeah.
Wonderful. Okay.
This
Hi.
is Audra. She runs this Textile Era. She's one of the volunteers. She comes in on Tuesday nights, trains people on the equipment, and then supports them for their projects.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you,
Audra.
too.
Yeah, industrial sewing machines are just wonderful.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
ones are fabulous too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty lucky.
Nice.
Yeah.
We did do a So Heavy, it's a work apron for men.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to tailor it for length, and then there'll be pockets across here for, you know, if you were in woodworking or metalworking or ceramics, then you'll have different pockets up there.
Nice.
But the men got the chance to use the industrial sewing machines and get on there. And
Yeah, so you had about 25 vans that got solar power added to them?
well, we didn't do the adding of that. What we're doing is specking out, how do you spec
Okay.
out the capacity, how many batteries, how
Okay.
many
How
cells.
somebody
Okay.
will do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are
So-
big questions.
Yeah.
I think
And so
that's-
the next one is staying warm in your van.
Right.
So things like nanoparticle paints,
Oh.
warm curtains, diesel heaters that you can tie in.
Wow.
You know, the trucker
I need that
heaters.
right now.
Many a home could use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going well. It was a couple members that were doing their own conversion, and we invited them to host the meetup here. And
Nice.
so it's really, the community's really responding well.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, so over here we have a computer area. We do a lot of stuff that needs you know, both CAD, Illustrator, Photoshop, and then all the equivalents as well with open source, Camp and Inkscape. And we talked this summer, we had a CAD, Tinkercad for kids, and also they did so they could use the 3D printers, and then some coding, make code, which is for a graphical version of coding, so the kids could make their own games. And then over there we have the electronics, a Arduino with a lot of sensors on it. So how do you incorporate that into your art, into your projects?
Oh, that sounds exciting too. Yeah.
And it's so approachable now. Technology is super approachable. Yeah. It's a real nexus for deep personalization. And so if you,
What do you call this area?
it's digital fabrication.
Oh, okay.
And here's an example you may want to get. So this is an example. It's a secret knock box. So by knocking on it, it opens it up. Yeah, and you can put any knock you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
really
So you get the graphic and the art piece. This is kind of
That was
interesting.
laser cut.
Yeah. This is called a live hinge.
I kind of want my own laser cutter.
It's right there.
It's definitely a gateway drug. So, but some of the things you can do are, you know, this is a prototype I made for a friend. It's her favorite artist.
And you control how deep.
That's gorgeous.
And here's another little box that uses that live hinge. When you cut the wood in specific patterns, it can bend very
Makes it
easily.
flexible, yeah.
Yeah, and then you can customize it with different designs, whatever design you want on there. So one of the things about this deep personalization, when we talked about the laser cutter and that, but also a 3D scanner, not only does it make it really super easy for artists, which you'll see in here that we really strive to make it easy for artists, but the deep personalization, the example I like to use is I took a cylinder of clay, squeezed it with my hand, scanned it, and then 3D printed it, and I can use it for my tool handles.
Yeah.
And it's my hand. Or you can maybe mold something in clay and scan it, use it to do cast silver or bronze, or use the CNC router to route it out. But once you have that file, 3D print it, route it. Once you have that file, it can be used in a lot of different machines.
Great.
Then you can do fail forward fast on these.
Fail forward fast. What does that mean?
So you never get anything right away. And you know, the paradigm's shifted from really speccing it out every a part of it, and then you give it to the user, and they go, well, my hands are bigger,
Right.
right? So by iterating fast, by using this, you can
Prototyping,
iterate
changing.
fast.
Okay, basically a
All right, try
prototype.
this now. No? Oh, you want the holes moved? Okay. And in 15 minutes, you can be handing it to them again.
Yeah, nice.
So this was a commission I was trying, and so on cardboard, it's cheap, it's fast, and then once the design is more formalized, then we can take it back to another CNC machine, the plasma table, and cut it out of metal, which is very expensive right now.
Yeah.
So I know it's going to be right. Yeah. So we have 3 professional ceramicists in there. And they all work 1 night a week, and they support members. We have 2 films out there, and then a raccoon film, which is a blast, especially with a little wine. You know.
Can survive.
And so, yeah, pretty well figured out. We have low bay, and we have.
Take out the bisque area over there.
This is our jewelry area, and Karen St. I, that's Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Very well-known professional jeweler. She runs with Laura. I didn't see you guys. How could I miss your hair? Yeah, say hi.
Hi.
So those 2 work together on Tuesday nights, and they certify people and support them doing their projects. We have it pretty well laid out with, oh, and here's one of the projects that they do. So they use a lot of the tools in there in order to make hammering, cutting, drilling. So that's what we call their Capstone Project. You know, after they get certified, then they come in and make it. And yeah, so you can make different things, frogs and salamanders and flowers and hummingbirds and all that using flames. And of course, the kids love this because we tell them from the time they're toddlers, don't play with matches, don't play with flames. And we go, okay, play with flames. So they're going,
Oh, that does.
yeah, it really is. And it's just about the original. These pieces here are fusing, where you stack the glass and you put it in the kiln, fuse it together, and you can then make pendants and earrings. And another example of, hey, there's been a number of jewelers that wants to do cut their stones and then polish them and then do some casting. And so we started looking for equipment. We find most of our equipment through auctions and bankruptcies and garage sales, things like that. So it's been a slow progress of fitting out each of the areas, and we kind of try and we get equipment and we replace it when we can, but better and better and better.
Yes.
Started, they literally had what, 2 areas, maybe
Yeah.
3, you know, in 1,000 square feet. So 10 years later,
Nice.
Yeah, this is the machine shop. We have a retired machinist. He's actually an oboe player that became back into machining. He has an invention on cutting reeds for reed instruments. It's very precise process, and so he taught himself how to machine, and so he comes in and teaches machining.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, people are, can be passionate about a specific art form or even a technical form. So this is going to be the assemblage and upcycling area. And so that's some of the examples of
Beautiful.
upcycling. That was
Yeah.
a well pressure tank.
Oh, that's
It's now a fire
nice.
pit. And
Yeah,
this
that's
here
amazing.
was, I had a fun, did a summer camp with the kids doing,
Oh, yeah.
just, assemblage, and just had a blast with them, talking about body language, like the shoulders are above, what's that emotion? Just changing one little thing, like the eyes position, what does that do?
Putting that can out so that it's kind of like
Yeah.
way in your face.
Right.
there were some wonderful things made.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then they told stories after that. What's the story behind
They
this?
kind of played with them.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a lamp just from Thrift Shop Glass.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And this is a local transmission shop lets us raid their back with all the broken gears and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. All these pieces have their own stories. They have the marks on them and scars. Like this isn't perfect here. There's missing parts, but then you put it together for another story, and you can actually take non-artistic pieces, and if you have a vision or can assemble them, they can be elevated to art from broken gears, thrown away glass, cat food cans from Karen. Yeah.
Contributed a lot.
Yeah, this is the four elements, water, wind, and lost eyeballs. I've seen a lot of use, bottom of a few lakes.
I like the wheels. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's have fire pit will travel.
Yes. We usually float it out on the lake because of fire. I gotta weld that back on.
Wow, nice. That would be
You
impressive.
gotta see an optometrist. The cardboard design that was up there from the laser cutter. So that same file you put on there on a flash drive, and then you cut it out of metal. In fact, I was demonstrating that exact thing. I made, Christmas gifts, which is the real reason for this place. Is you never have to buy another Christmas gift or birthday gift.
Quickly make a luminaire or other things.
These are like panicked,
Do you have a shop, a holiday shop here for people to sell the things?
We're going to
today?
be.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds fun.
Yeah. So if you notice, this crow was on the floor in the gallery. So once you have that file,
Right.
you can either use a vinyl cutter, or what we did is use the laser cutter to make a stencil. And then we could shrink it and grow it, and so you'll see all those crows on the floor out there. This puts out about 30,000 degrees in a very fine line, so it's like drawing with a pencil.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
And you can do up to a 1/4-inch steel plate.
Do you wear glasses when you do?
Yeah, and you gotta use
I thought you might have to.
shades,
Yeah.
shade 5 glasses, and and then you can take your designs even further with something
Yeah, like what we used to do with cut paper.
like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, that all applies.
Yeah.
Again, on this, we try and make it so artists don't need to learn a program, a CAD, and so this has the capability to do tracing. So what I did on this was, I just traced a design just to demonstrate, and then it traced it, created a file, and I threw a piece of metal down and cut it out.
Yep, that's great.
Yeah, so you don't have to go left, right, when
Right.
you're working.
Yes.
So this is really kind of where it started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emptying out my garage into that little warehouse.
Oh,
You know,
There
okay.
was welders and metalworking equipment.
Yeah.
Primarily.
Yeah. Being a programmer, I wanted to be able to use my hands. I mean, she was always a painter using her hands doing that. And so taking a class and metal, love this metal stuff, and so started, bought my welder in that. And that, it's a kind of a black magic until you learn it. And so we've taught, we estimate 400 to 500 people in the county
in the 10 years.
in the 10 years to weld.
Yeah.
And it's a real kind of passive, because you got to wear equipment, you're blocked, you got gloves on and aprons, and you're using cold hard steel with massive amounts of electricity, and it's scary. But the goal of it is that you can walk up to any MIG welder and assess it, set it up, identify the metal, make sure it's the right kind of metal, and do a good weld. And so people walk out here differently after doing that. That veil of mystery.
I took a welding class, but I never crossed the threshold. I didn't walk out the other side feeling confident.
You got to take ours then.
I guess I
love
did.
Take
teaching.
ours. You
I
should see
did.
the kids, they're a little tentative, and
Uh-huh.
then they're just like, whoa, I did that, You can see it.
Yeah, and it's super important with even the raw material, taking raw steel cutting it on the ironwork or making a design on the plasma forge, and then coming over here and welding it together. It is, especially in this day and age where there's so much virtual stuff. So they come in and they watch a video. They come in and do hands-on. We take them through the whole thing, and they do each section, and then they come back and do a practicum. So we hand them a piece of metal and say, okay, cut here, punch here, notch here, and tell us what you're thinking about. So, we have a lot of documentation so that if they come back in a month or 2 months.
And it hasn't quite stayed clear.
Yeah, or, we forget.
Yeah.
And so they can use the QR code to review,
Nice.
and then they can look here and see.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But you can't keep the kids off it. Pedal powered.
It's what, how's it powered?
Pedal.
Pedal powered.
Yep, 6-person pedal
Okay, no,
powered
this is not the
vehicle.
one I've seen.
Oh, okay.
The one I've seen shoots flame out of it somewhere.
Yeah,
Well,
is
that's
it a
next.
dragon?
I think it is.
Yeah. So that's an assembled dragon. Yeah, so this
This is great.
and the wings are off at their store behind there. Jeff Carver did all the mechanicals on it, and it was a great project. We all learned how to do, the welding and
Yeah, it
layout.
was a large group project. Almost everybody in the forge worked on it at that time, which was a number of years ago now.
Yeah. So we brought it in.
We can refurbish.
Yeah, we brought it in. We're probably going to redo the whole thing into a steampunk steamship, but for now we're just leaving it as is. But we brought in to, redo things.
Nice.
Time for upgrade.
Yeah, see
Does it
the
have a
eagle head
It's a
here.
shaman
Shaman
cycle.
cycle.
Was
Shaman
its original-
cycle.
Yeah, shaman cycle.
Yeah, the shaman cycle. Okay.
Two glass blowers that come in. This isn't the usual area. It takes about 3 days to get ready, 2 days to get the furnace up to temperature, about 2100 degrees, and then you have to charge it, which is putting glass in, and then cook the glass and get all the bubbles out, and then we can start. So it's not something we bring up all the time, but on open houses we'll have tasters or it's
Much better
blasting
winter
here.
time than
Yeah,
summertime.
summertime we're dying in here. So we're gonna do a bunch of the classes. We're starting on November 4th. They'll be doing tasters with doing these pumpkins. And so it's just a taster. They're gonna guide you through it. And it takes about 20 minutes, half hour
Wow.
to do that. And you walk away with
A pumpkin.
a pumpkin. And then, for the regular classes, that's a paperweight that you use.
Start out with a paperweight and
Solid
build up
forms.
the glasses and
What
other
fun.
shapes.
More hollow forms. Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Levels of
Yeah.
classes.
All right.
So there's tasters, and then there's 3 and 6 hour courses to really start getting your glass chops down, learning how to manipulate, use the glory holes, and all the different equipment that we have back here to shape and form the glass.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, so this is a newer shop. It's blacksmithing. A lot of it came from a master blacksmith down in the Bay Area. Jefferson Mack, he's very accomplished, high-end blacksmith. And so he was downsizing, and so we bought his equipment from him, and he comes up and gives classes, and is able to work up here in his large forge.
Wow. Is that what that big thing is, the power hammer?
Yeah.
Oh my
And I
God.
can,
It's massive.
yeah. And
Is
so-
it loud?
Pretty loud, we can run it. Be interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah.
He's going to run the power hammer for us. I'm a little intimidated.
So this works on a friction belt here. And when I press on this here, then it starts pressing on there and it starts the whole thing going. So it's like having a 300-pound hammer, like
Wow.
to hammer things. So it's just basically a hammer, but you can do fast shaping on thicker material. So basically, you come in here, you heat up your material, and then you come over here and then start shaping.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so you heat it to soften the metal and then...
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You have a certain amount of time to work it, and then you have to heat it up again.
So the funny story about this, though, was this was actually built in 1942 in my hometown, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Went up to a knife maker up on San Juan Ridge, Eric Clausen, and then Jefferson got it from there 20 years ago, and then
Now we
it
have
came back
it
here.
up
So I
here.
can't wait for Eric to come and see this.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
Reunion.
Talk about small world.
Yep. Nice to meet you.
Gary was responsible for the skateboard summer camp. And come on over, Gary, why don't you talk about this?
Yeah.
Really cool.
Done like what, 3 of them
Just
now?
that process that they went through, and you gotta look at that shape close.
That
He
is-
spent a lot of time
How
on
do
this.
you even get that shape?
Right.
Is water involved in anything?
No. So this is a vacuum bag. So we're using basically atmospheric pressure as a clamp. So we have forms that are, I don't know, they're underneath here at the moment, but they're shaped like that. And then so we use glue, basically, and thin layers of wood veneers. You know, these are actually quite heavy veneers, but they're all like laminated together to make the plywood, but it's in a particular form, so that all gets kind of sucked into down to the form, and we get this sort of compound shape that everybody
So nice.
likes.
And look at how beautiful these pieces are. Look at these.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
That's kind of Gary's specialty, but one thing, about Gary is, these kids are so lucky to have someone of his skills. But this was last year's. You notice how flat that is. You have the kick here, but he wasn't satisfied with it. And so this year he goes, hey, I want the kids to have the best. Be something they could be proud of. And so he put that curve in there,
Yeah.
which took a long time, to create new forms and all that.
Yeah.
But he just wanted them to have the best.
And then this is a little form that when we use to trim the thing, it kind of goes on here, and then it's sucked down with a vacuum, and then we can kind of trim the edge.
And that was one of our real concerns is, so this is 12 to 16-year-olds who probably have never worked with power tools. So how are they going to be able to do the bandsaw and the router, safely on there? So Gary came up with that. I haven't seen that before. And so the vacuum hose connects there, sucks it down, holds it steady for them, and using that form there to actually route that. Really impressive. So this is a CNC router, and this is a little baby one, 33 by 3, but it's again for deep personalization we were talking about. That's Lake Tahoe.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love taco maps of any kind.
Right,
Yeah.
And then this is Millennial Falcon. And so there's not a lot you can't do with this as far as you make a crib for your grandchild, and then you can put your faces on it, or some saying, or their face, or their feet prints on it, or whatever. This is our trainer until we get a larger format one. Yeah, pretty well set up. We have a kind of a collection of machines, and we're trying to homogenize them more.
Custom
But-
floor too.
I
Yeah.
noticed that.
This was
I
a
noticed the
COVID
coin.
project.
Yeah,
when we
during
were
one of
there.
Yeah.
our breaks, we got to have fun.
Yeah. Just trying to make it less industrialized, more inspirational. So we're always, trying to, create that atmosphere that inspires,
Right, because when you go down into the Cuttlefish, I will set these all up too. But I figured out now that you actually need a good sized gap in order to get all the metal to go down in there. My
Right.
initial problem was that I kept pouring over the hole and down the outside of the Cuttlefish. So And so then it's just a big stinky mess and you have to scratch it. So the bigger the hole at the actual pour spout location, the better. And then I also figured out, like the design that you want facing is the part that you want on the bottom of your pour as opposed to the top. So you don't want to rely on gravity is your friend. If you try to use it to your benefit, then it can really help in this situation. It's a lot of fun. And you can get super creative with it. And a lot of these are actual designs, like hearts and shapes and circles and squares. And so we're just going to go for it and see which ones turn out.
One of those, you have one that's open.
Yeah, here. And there's the indentation that I've carved. That would be what it looks like when it's poured. And then the back side is flat, so that it kind of, just folds together like this.
Now, these cuttlefish molds, are they reusable or are they one-time use?
They're one time only. And
Okay.
it is really stinky. It's kind of like a horrible smell like burning hair.
Okay.
As you can imagine. So it's one of those things where once the molten metal goes in, oh look, and they come in all sorts of sizes. I do little ones because they're easy to find and I don't do huge pours. But as Karen has just supplied this humongous cuttlefish bone, and pours can also be done this way when you back them side by side. So you can make humongous pours.
What temperature do you need for?
I'm going to be having this at 980. It's a basic high silver melting point to make it quick. The reason I have it at that temp is because I'm actually alloying the sterling silver before I pour it.
And the copper makes it stronger? Or?
The copper is used for strength. I mean, fine silver is really soft, and even the thick pour can be really pliable. So the copper is used for strength, but with this small amount, it still maintains the silver color. So it's really neat.
That's our little place.
It's lovely, but it's not really that little.
It's
Did
not
you
that
say
little.
20,000
20,000 square feet.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to say about your facility and your project?
Well, one word you brought up was possibilities, and that's a big one for us. There's just so much possibility and opportunity here.
Yeah, the other thing is we really want to be an integral part of the community. So besides working with all these nonprofits, we're just got funded to do a 12-week metal fabricator course. So we got funding for the curriculum, which is pretty much done, and we're waiting to see if the funding comes through with for the actual course itself. So we're going to take 8 participants through the course, and we've been working with employers, and so we're hoping that there's a real workforce dilemma here.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so this is hopefully going to help them start on a career that they can support a family with, and really get passionate about that. That'll work. And we put in for grants. The county has a grant out there for businesses, and part of our grant is more facilitators and also a bus, so that we can go out and do that last mile, because we're out in the woods, beautiful place.
I was wondering if there was a bus that came
And
out
there isn't
here.
a bus that comes
Yeah.
by.
Yeah, a bus would be really nice.
Yeah. I mean, charter schools, homeschoolers, we want to go to the retirement homes, and we've been talking about this Geeks and Geezers, where intergenerational skill shares, what apps on your phone can help you with your quality of life. And then how do you sweat a pipe? How do you weld something? So that, that place where the generations can meet up.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out.
Liam. And this is Rebecca Martinez at the Curious Forge signing off.
Okay,
Oh.
question.
Yes.
This is out in the middle of nowhere. How did this building get here? What is it?
Oh, yeah, we might have to swap this and
whole
put it in the middle more.
facility was the old Grass Valley Group. Back in the 70s, it was one of the largest employers in the area. It was, they did everything here. This was their manufacturing area,
Yeah.
which is why there's all this great power for us.
They manufactured routers and switches for videos.
Right.
And they're like the Cadillac of
Yeah.
routers and switches.
Yeah, and they still exist. They're much smaller, but they were out here for a couple decades. And,
Okay.
then they've moved to different places in the area.
Okay.
They did vertical manufacturing, meaning they did everything from the sheet metal to the plastic knobs all of it was done here.
Yeah.
And so it's really the dream makerspace.
Yeah.
Art Center. It is the dream. I've been all over and I've never seen anything quite like this. So we got a 10-year lease on it, and we work with the school, Nevada City School of Arts. They've come down, and we're working with them on more curriculum as well. And so we got 6 more years here. So
Okay,
who knows? You got to come
I
back
hope it goes forever.
and see
We're
what
going for it.
see what happens next year.
I will, yeah.
Every year it really evolves. It's a evolving process and space.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
sounds
once
good.
again, Rebecca Martinez signing off from the Curious Forge. And if you like our video, don't forget to like us, give us a thumbs up, and support us through our website and Patreon.